Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Kim Dalsgaard Christensen. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at Continia Software. And the agenda for today is very simple. I will give you a very short heads up on Continia in general. The What's New part will be presented by my colleague, Daniel Stello, who is our solution specialist for document output. For those of you who haven't met Continia before this webinar, very short, Continia is an international software vendor. We focus 100% on building solutions, enhancing the financial capabilities within Microsoft Business Central. Each and every solution is delivered through our partners. All our solutions are available on Microsoft App Stores, and 1st of October, all solutions were upgraded to new version 2024 R2, supporting the new Business Central 2024 Wave 2, both in the Continia and Microsoft world, also called version 25. Within this month, we will release extensions as well, supporting on-premises BC versions 2 years back, plus Business Central 14, the last FOB version. For notice, this version 2024 R2 will be the last version where we include the Business Central 14 FOB version. Companies who remain on this version also for the time to come, this is the version you will be able to get. There will be no further version releases, and within 2 years, we do not offer support on the version any longer. Please also notice there is no Business Central 14 FOB versions available for our new releases, marked by this elegant animation for continuous sustainability, banking, and finance. Current status is that this Continia community now is supported by no less than 30,000 live installations within more than 45 countries. All solutions are supported by more than 1,600 partners with more than 12,000 people that have access to our partner services within license and technical support. We are, of course, humble and honored by all the confidence and trust that lies in this number, and a big thank you both to our partners and customers for this. And this is also why we are able to invest in adding improvements of existing and new features to our solutions. And with that in mind, I will hand over the screen to you, Daniel. Go ahead.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. So my name is Daniel Stello. I'm the solution specialist for document output. And it is my pleasure today to go through a handful of the enhancements that we have added to document output since our previous release. But first, I want to just touch on what document output is and what it does for you in your Business Central. So in essence, it is a tool for automating distribution of documents and for managing variations and applying the different templates and variants automatically. And that is determined by settings on either the recipient or the type of document. And of course, it's a tool for customization so that the received message is exactly up to spec as either needed by the recipient or desired by the sender. So these are the three main functions of document output, and the way it does that is that it picks up documents ready to be handled from Business Central. It will then apply all the settings from the customer setup. Document output has customer setups and from the templates that pull in data from fields or tables, and it will then apply this to the job section that will place these messages in the queue, which is a automated distribution that runs in the background. And this distribution will then split into either email, e-invoicing, or prints, all determined by the settings on the recipient. And recipients can be basically anyone. It is only limited to the email addresses available in some field somewhere in Business Central. So it is not just limited to customers and vendors, but it will be possible to also send to employees or other recipients in extensions or in vertical solutions that have been implemented on Business Central, where you can add a document output functionality. So with that, let's go through some of the new stuff. One of the major new additions is the enhancement of our automatic statement functionality. It has been changed in three significant ways. First off, we have separated the period statement and the due statements. So these can be defined separately and then combined into codes that will be applied to the recipients, in this case, customers. We have also separated the intervals and periods in terms of the intervals. And we have additional ways of defining start dates and end dates. And I will be showing this in a live demo in just a second. Next, we will be looking at some added functionality in our XML sending, where we now have a function that enables you to embed the PDF report into the XML file. So if you, for instance, send PEPPOL invoices to your customers and they will require a human readable format as well, you can embed the PDF version within the XML file and send it through the PEPPOL network. So this will free up time to build extensions that would otherwise be needed for this. So now it's included, and the recipients will be able to open up the PDF and read it as a normal human readable document. Next up, we will be looking at some of the changes made to how we distinguish handled documents from unhandled documents. In the past, we have used the field number printed, and that field, of course, is also open for a standard. So standard can add prints to any document and other extensions, which made it more or less unreliable to accurately track handled and unhandled. So now we have extended these documents with our own field that is handled by document output. And we can set up the conditions that needs to be met for a document to be considered handled. So it doesn't rely on just one setting, but it could be a combination. We've also added a small life improvement enhancement on a log trail. So if you convert quotes to either an order or an invoice, the log entry from the quote will be passed on to the new document, and it will be available in a fact box there as well. We have also added the ability to copy template lines. So on the templates for the document templates, you are able to add different lines for different variations of your messages, and the more you have, the more variations you need to build up. The more time you actually save by copying your existing and only make the changes that actually sets them apart. In the past, you would need to set up the entire line and copy paste either from somewhere else into the new lines. But now we have a nifty little function where you can copy the template line, and it will just inherit all the settings from the line that you've copied. The only thing that then you need to do there is to set the variant which would define it. And lastly, in April, with our previous release, we introduced a new way of using merge fields and, well, in generally using merging within our HTML editor. And this functionality has now also been extended to the signatures templates. All right, with that, it's time to go into the solution. And let's start out with the new automatic statements functionality. So what is important to bear in mind is that for upgrades, this functionality is not automatically enabled. You can do this by looking up the Continia feature management. And in here, it is a simple checkbox to enable the enhanced automatic statement settings. But to just show you quickly how it works, I'll go into this customer here and open up the settings. So the changes that you see here is this field for automatic documents. And here you set the code for the statements that you want to add. And you can set up your codes as you wish. And these are the combinations that I mentioned before, where we have a settings for the period statement and settings for the due date statement. So if we go one step further, we can open up the entire list of default period statements. These are the ones that you would see with the new solutions. If you are upgrading and you already use the automatic statement settings, we do provide a job that will convert the old statement codes to the new regime. You will recognize some of the fields here, the code, of course, but also the statement if. This is also inherited by the previous statement functionality, and they include the same if statements or if conditions. So there's the entries in period, there is a balance or balance due, and there are entries in period or balance and entries in period or balance due. So those have not changed. The first change that we see is in how we define the start of a period. So if we look at the first one, date formula, it's what we actually had previously. So there is a date formula, which is what we see over here, that defines the period for the statement. But we are also able to use the date on the first open entry for the customer. And in this case, we would also need to set a different end date type. And we can here you can use the last entry date or last open entry date, but we can also use the last bank posting date. And those are, for instances, where you want to give a little leeway in order for payments to be processed fully before including it into the statement. So these are new. The period formula is the same, but with an addition that we can now set a start day of the month. So we can just enter the number of the day in which we want the period to start. And this has this only has influence on the period, because as we see in the next column, this is where we can define the sending interval. In the past, these two, so the sending interval and the period date formula, were intertwined, I would say. So you would not be able to set a different sending interval. I would, for instance, be able to set this one to send every 2 weeks. So if I put 14 days here, it will send every 14 days a statement. and with a period that starts on the first of the month and for a full month. We can also define which day of the month we want the interval to start, and we can even set a weekday, so we can say it will be sent on Mondays. The settings here are the same, so we can exclude or we can revert back to manual sending if there are finance charges or reminders, or we can exclude if the balance is negative. Here we set the email template, and that is something that we still need to do manually. So just bear that in mind. The column here is also inherited from the old system. Here's where you define whether you want to put the statement in a journal, and then you can send out the statement manually at a later time from that journal. You can also set this to email, and it will email a statement straight away as soon as it's been generated. Another new thing is this interactive field, which will change according to how you apply the settings. So this will summarize what the statement how the statement will work. So in this case, it will send the statement on Monday every 14 days if customer has balance. And the period is first open entry date until the date formula. So this practically wouldn't work, but if we set this one to, let's say, last entry date, we will now see that it will set the period from the first open entry date and then anything in between up until the last entry date. And here you'll see the expected next sending date. All right. So this is the part that covers the period statements. We also have the due statements here, and this is somewhat simpler. It looks a lot like what we had in the past and basically is. Here it's just in a separate item, so we can set the due statements here. Let's make one for a 5-day statement. So what this does is that it will exclude those that are less than 5 days overdue. And the same here, we will apply the template that we need to use. And we can set whether it's for email and or for a journal. So now we have a default statement code that combines the settings from this period statement and from this due date statement. And we can set up different codes with different combinations of period and due date statements for the customer. But let's keep this one. All right. I showed you shortly on the period statements how it would project an expected next sending date, and that has been added because that was very difficult to sort of predict in the old solution. So now it's stated very clearly. But even for each customer, so let's say we set this customer to receive automatic statements as of now, we will now be able to go into the customer actions, and under the statement sections, there is a new item called calendar, and this calendar shows the statement sending for this customer with this default code. So this shows when all the days or when all the statements will be sent in the future. I just noticed something here, so let's just make a change on this. So if we change this one here, we should see that Thursdays will be now reflected in the calendar for this code. Let me just F5 this one. And it has. So now that we've made changes to the period statement, it will be reflected in the scheduled sending, or the sending schedule that we can see on each customer. So now it is very easy to see when and what the customer will be receiving in the future. So that was the new statement functionality. Next up is the embedding of the PDF into the e-documents. And this is done on the output profile settings. And it's actually rather simple. It is a simple tick box over here. So we select which one of these templates we want to have the PDF embedded into the electronic format. And we can just take them all just for good measure. This will now include the PDF report into the XML file and send it through, in this case, the PEP-POL network. And the PDF report generated is the one that would otherwise have been attached to an email. So in this case, I can just quickly set a customer up and open an email so I can show you the file in there. Let's put a PEP-POL on this customer here. So all I need to find is a invoice that I can. All right, hang on. We need to add the external document number. That is one of the rules we need to adhere to for the PEP-POL network. And we will post it. And from here, we can open the email. The reason why I'm opening an email, even though it's an XML file, is because in this demo environment, I'm not allowed to send out test documents through the PEP-POL network. That would have been nice otherwise. So let me just open up the file. So this is the XML file that was generated with the embed PDF report function enabled. And we see it right here. So this is the where the PDF file is added. And this can then be extracted by the receiver and be used as a human readable format. So that's how this is done. Next up, and this is also a significant change. It was actually added a while ago, and many of you probably already have experienced it. The thing is that using the number printed for tracking handled or unhandled was unreliable, and in fact, what triggered the early implementation of it was that Microsoft had added some forced digital vouchers here in Denmark that caused temporarily the number printed to increase by 1. So we added our own way of tracking handled versus not handled. And this is what you would now see in your unhandled queues. So there is a box here that will be, I can just show if, no, I don't have anything handled, but I can just send one in a second. This will have a tick mark if the document is considered handled. And you will have data filled out here according to what time it was handled, the number of emails that have been sent, the number of e-documents that have been created, and the number of print jobs that the document output has handled, and the number printed. So this is the report run number printed. The column here is the same as we had in the past. Here we see the log. And we now also have the output profile added to the document. This is something that is also new, and we've added that to enable filtering. The other part that we need to cover here is what we see in this column, because we are now in the unhandled queue, and we have a whole list of documents that have already been sent but are no longer considered unhandled, because we filter for the value in the handled by document output field. So let's say we still need to have these marked as handled, even though it hasn't been handled by document output after the upgrade. We have a job that we can run, and it will then mark the let's say in this case the sales documents as handled. So let's say that we go from the old regime of using the number printed, or anything with a print higher than 0, we want to mark as handled, and this job does that. So it adds a true value for those, and as we can see, our list of unhandled documents have now been reduced to those that were not sent prior to the upgrade. And if I now decide that I want to send this one, I can do that and send it off. And I should now have one here. Hang on. There we go. So this one now has, sorry, I clicked it. This one now has was tagged with handled, but it also now has set a value in the field for number of emails sent, and the log that is present there. The reason why there's 0 in the rest is, of course, because those are just demo documents. So that was the handled versus unhandled. Next up is the trace of log entries within or from the quote to, say, an order. If we open a quote and we want to send out the quote by email, we will do that here, and it will create a log entry on the quote document over here in the fact box. And this is the log entry for the quote. Let's say we want to make this an order, and we open it. We will now have a log entry on the order, even though we haven't sent the order confirmation yet, but it is marked with the italic red, which indicates that this is not an order log entry, but actually the log entry or link to the log entry from the quote that we just sent. So here we have the log entries available right at hand on the order itself. And if we send the order, we will now see that the log entry for the order is also here. So we have both the order confirmation and the quote log entries available to us on the order itself. And of course, if instead of making order from the quote and went straight to invoicing, that would also be the case, that we would have both entries available on the invoice. So that was a little life improvement addition that we can now enjoy, and that brings me to the next life improvement that I know some have really wished for quite a while, and that's the ability to copy template lines. So in this case, I just have the default template line, and with the default text and the default HTML what do you call it, content here. And I might want to make a variant of this, but not that much, maybe just a small change. And for that, it would be neat if I could just copy everything, which is now possible. So let's say I base my variants on customer group, and I mark the template line that I want to copy. I will now have a copy line function available up here. And this will then prompt me to distinguish the filter that needs to be added for identifying the variant here. And as we just set it for customer group, I will check this, and let's say we'll make a variant for large ones. As you saw, there's also a language variant. These will just still require you to actually go in and change most of the text and translate that. But here I can just go in and see that everything is identical to the other one, but I just need a variant here that says, let's say, large. Oh. And this is my variant. I'll save it. And my job is done. So I no longer need to copy paste file name or any of the additional settings in the HTML part that I have. It's now just a simple question of copying the line and just doing the small changes that will set them apart or make the variant. Now that we are here, I also want to touch on the signatures. So as the last item for today, I'll just show you that the signature editor also now includes the new merge field and merge signature functionality. You can see that the merge tables are not available here, but the merge fields and merge signatures are available. And it works the same way as for the main template. You just start with typing a percentage, and you can start searching or filtering your list of available merging. Let's say we have another signature here, and we will take this one. So this one will now merge in the default document output advertised signature, which is an image. So that was the news for document output this release. I hope that you will start using, especially the automatic statement, the new automatic statement settings. I'm very curious on how that is going to work for you all. But with that, I want to thank you all for your time and attention. You're all welcome, of course, to get in touch with me if there are any questions that will arise in the days or weeks to come when you do upgrades or when you want to try out some of the new functions. Please do not hesitate. I'm quite available, so just give me a call and have a nice weekend.